it's been an adventure to try to, figure it out. I mean, years in the past, we always were trying to, it took us a while, even when we had kids returning, we'd try to figure out who's going to start and who's going to really contribute. But, right now we're in practice. Texas game was pretty tough. I think it did us some good, though, to see that we got to work on our defense, get better at defending, even though we didn't score as much. And then the Nichols game was just chaotic. I don't like playing like that, but the game just was like that. We were able to kind of come back from behind, and I saw some good things from some of the kids, but we still got a lot of work. So these 10 days that we have before we play are like almost a blessing, because we actually practiced yesterday, and we're back in practice all week and trying to get better offensively and defensively. And I think our coaches are going to do a good job of making sure that the kids understand. We need to understand a little bit more what we're trying to do, and then believe in it. You got to believe in. I saw some confidence comes from evidence, and we got to have a little bit more evidence of being productive.
Maybe not the style of game, but individually with young players and new players, who made some progress in the Nichols game?
Well, in the Nichols game, we had a lot of mistakes. So when you make mistakes and you struggle, you can kind of see them on film. We're showing film yesterday, and we had a long film session on that. But yeah, I mean, honestly, I like what Amani Daniels is doing. I mean, she's a player. She just, Matt made a good comment about she needs to quit fouling. And I like the aggressiveness of it, Some of it, to me, aren't fouls. I mean, I know in the Delta State game, that fifth foul we went back and looked at it, was not, the girl pushed her, So, and that's just kind of part of it. I think she's going to be a really good player. We noticed that in high school and AAU, she could rebound, and she's a good rebounder and defensive player. She'll get better offensively, but I like her, Amaja Price is going to be a good player too. She does not defend, so that's one of the things that once she starts to she's athletic enough to defend, so once she learns not to reach and to get back on defense and stuff, I think she'll be a good player. All the freshmen, all the freshmen are pretty good players, and I think for me, it's really not about an individual. We got to get the team to be able to gel a little bit, and that's gonna, this 5-game road trip is going to be, hopefully we can do that.
But at the end of a game right now, if you play a game that's close, do you, and you're tied or down one with 20 seconds, do you know who you want to get the ball to, or where are you going?
And in that process, we don't. I mean, we know who we want to get the ball to, but we don't. Because, I mean, it happened against Nichols. We had a chance. We had a chance to tie the game at the free throw line, and we made 2 out of 3. And then we got the rebound, and we went to pressing a little bit more at the end of the game, and we made steals. I always find it's hard to on the women's side to transform the defensive side pressing to the offensive side where you got to be under more control. The pressing is you're trying to create people to turn it over. And I want to say we missed 4 layups in the last 25 seconds, and I mean layups, not tough layups. And that's the game in itself right now. But yeah, Lily Ba shot a 3. She made one earlier, but at the end of the game, that would have won it. She was wide open. She shot it. That's she's mostly a post player, not the person that really wants to shoot, but she was open, and the time was kind of running down. But last minute, who are you going to get the ball to? I don't think we have anybody yet that we can say, hey, we want to put the ball in this person's hands to score. I think they would develop it, maybe one of the freshmen kind of come to my thinking that they might be the ones.
Overall, just kind of encapsulate what these last 5 games last 4 games have been like for you and your team, kind of figuring things out on the fly.
It's frustrating because we know we're better than that. We just didn't, you just don't show up, and some of the things that we need to do, like even the rebounding, we're not rebounding that bad, most of the time, most of the games we've out-rebounded those teams, turnovers have been really high. And, you know, all you have to do is go back and look at the Nichols game when they were pressing us and we made mistakes, we wasn't in the press breaker. And man, I was trying to get us in, even though when we broke the press and not being in the press breaker, it didn't give us any advantage to score. You know, when people are pressing you, you're supposed to be a little bit more organized and you have a plan. Everybody's set, spacing is important, and we wasn't doing that. You know, we were just taking the ball out. The person that's not supposed to take the ball out was taking it. Just a lot of confusion on that standpoint, you know. And I think that's why these 10 days we're trying to make them understand that we're going to be, you know, we have a plan. We have a system that we need to try to stick to offensively and defensively.
Have they kind of overcome the early season disappointments and chaos and confusion? Like mentally, are they like okay?
I don't know. I really don't know. You know, I mean, we see some of them struggling. We've been doing a lot in practice. Like yesterday's practice was tough, and that's what we're trying to do. Is, you know, we're trying to make them to understand that this thing is not easy. You know, to play Division I sports, no matter who you play in, it's not easy to do. It looks like, I mean, maybe it looks easy, but it's not. And I think they came in, a lot of the transfers came in and thinking it was going to be easy. I think the freshmen thought it was going to be easy too, because it's always been pretty easy for them. And I think, I think it's tough on them right now. I mean, it's tough on everybody, you know. You don't have, I don't know, I mean, it's just like, you know, we're trying to do our best to what we have. I mean, that's, you know, you look at other situations, it's not the same, you know. So that's the hard thing, you know. I mean, parents are questioning it too, you know. What are we doing, you know? And all I can say is, hey, I really know how to coach, and I know how I want to play. We're going to keep on believing in that, you know. Somebody said, well, who's going to be the leader on your team? I said, I'm going to be, you know. And Tamika's a great leader too, you know, and Casey too. So we've been at different levels and stuff, and you know, we just keep on, you know. I think that's the only thing you can do. I keep thinking of Tony, man. You know, it's like when Tony had some struggles early in the season and people didn't believe in it, and he ended up, you know, going to the tournament and doing really well. I remember he kept saying, you know, I remember my first year, he called me in and said, hey man, just put the blind, you know about plowing, put the blinders on and keep plowing. Don't try to start looking at everything, what's happening. And that's what we're doing, you know. And that's the kind of people we are. I don't say our team is like that yet, but, you know, we'll get them there. They'll either get there or not, you know.
What do you want to see in the next 10 days as far as like team chemistry and as far as them getting more comfortable playing with each other?
You know, I've been reading a lot about consistency. And, man, consistency is the way to build a team, you know, and the way you do it is you do reps. Like, man, my practice plan, I wish I'd have brought it. I went back to 2013. I have all my practice plans since I got here. And I went to back, I said, well, I could go, and a lot of times I like to go to 18 when we won. But it's not good to go because that whole team was experienced, had been there 4 years with me. So I said, that's not a good one because they're probably a little bit more advanced. So I went back to 13 when we were losing, and we were trying to change the program around and pulled up some practices. Like, man, we practice at 5:45 in the morning. There's times, you know, 5:45, stretching, 6 o'clock, practice. We were practicing until the game started because we, you know, volleyball was going on and we were in ROK, and that's where we practiced. And so I went back and I looked at them and it's like, how long? It was our practice is normally 1 page. It was 2 pages long. And so that's what we're doing today. We're doing our, you know, 2013 practice. And it's simple. Casey looked at it. You know, I showed Casey, called her in office and showed her this morning. And she's like, Coach, this is us, man. This is what we need. This is what I think we need to do today. And it's a defensive practice more. We'll do some full court press. Press breaking. To me, that gets them warmed up, and then we go right into the defensive side. So that's gonna, this week, Tamika's out. We signed a kid out of Indiana, and so she went for the celebration. They're doing like a little celebration there, and then she's gonna do a little bit of recruiting. So we got to do We got to do a lot other than drive the bus. That's the only thing we're not doing.